Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. And all the king's horses and all the king's men, they couldn't put Humpty together again. Good morning and welcome to Ananias Grace Coffee Break. Go ahead and grab your favorite cup of coffee, tea, or whatever you enjoy the most, and take a moment to reflect with me on today's topic, which is broken pieces. A dear friend of mine was searching for teacups for a mystery tea party she was planning, and long story short, I mailed her a few that I had. But when the box arrived and she opened it, that's right, you guessed it, the teacups were broken into pieces. As we talked about the broken teacups, she said, maybe, just maybe, I can still use them for something. That simple statement has sparked a beautiful conversation between us as we reflected over our lives. We began to talk about how God didn't throw us away in our brokenness, but instead He transformed our lives. Before we even knew it, we're rejoicing of all that the Lord has done and continues to do, completely forgetting about the shattered teacups. Unlike the king's horses and the king's men who couldn't put Humpty Dumpty back together again, aren't you glad that God doesn't throw us away in our brokenness? I am. Whether it's through broken relationships, bad decisions, our own disobedience, health challenges that we may face, or just the ups and downs of life, God is still at work, even in the broken pieces. Romans 8:28 reminds me that, and we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love Him and who are called according to His purpose. Our Heavenly Father takes our brokenness when we surrender it all to Him and uses it for His glory and for our good. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 7 says, but we have this treasure in jars of clay to show that this all-surpassing power is from God and not from us. As you reflect on your life today, remember this. God sees and God knows. And if you would surrender those broken pieces to Him, He will put them back together again. Isn't that wonderful? In a way that is even more beautiful than it was before. Psalms 118:23 declares, the Lord has done this, and indeed it is marvelous in our eyes. So no matter what feels shattered in your life, trust that the master potter is still at work. In His hands, broken pieces become beautiful testimonies. So until next time, keep the faith and enjoy your Ananias Grace coffee break. Remember that God can put the pieces back together again. Thank you for listening to my reflection on broken pieces.
And how about that for this Saturday morning, October the 25th, 2025. Tomorrow is Sunday. Go to church and allow God to put you back together again. Be blessed.